Hello everyone and welcome to Christopher's Entertainment Blog. I am your host Chris. This video I am going to be giving a review and discussing The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Keep in mind that I probably will go deep into the story, and I'm going to talk about it. So there's going to be spoilers, just to let everyone know. So if you don't want to be spoiled, if you haven't seen the movie yet, just save the video for later and come back and watch it later. Alright, yeah, let me go and say that I thought this movie was okay. Okay, I didn't think it was great. I thought it was okay. I was disappointed in the movie. I just thought it was so ridiculous at times. There were certain moments where it was very serious and very good acting, and then there was moments where it reminded me of like, you know, Batman Forever or Batman and Robin. I mean, it just seemed stupid at times. I mean, the character of Max, who is Electro, I mean, he just seems so dumb, so stupid. I mean, he reminded me of Edward Nygma, from Batman Forever, Jim Carrey. I mean, he reminded me of that character. It was almost the same type of thing going on there. And I thought it was ridiculous that how he became Electro, like he got electrocuted and he fell into that eel pit or water, whatever it was, and he was being shocked by these eels, and it just like, oh my god. I mean, my logical brain is just like, I can't understand how you would survive that, but it just wasn't believable to me for him being created into Electro that way. It just didn't seem believable. And I tried to get my creative mind going to say, well, maybe I tried to have a different perspective to try to understand what they were trying to do there. It just wasn't believable to me. I mean, I just thought it was ridiculous. And the whole thing with Harry Osborn, I thought that was a good scene with Norman Osborn and his son, and like the tension there. I thought that was great. They didn't really delve into like, how did they get this disease? I mean, it's killing them. I mean, what is it? I mean, they didn't really go into that very, very much at all. And Norman Osborn is there, and then he's dead, and it's like they didn't show that he was dead though. So I mean, I don't know what they're doing there. But he drops this news on Harry Osborn that you're gonna die. You got this disease, and they just didn't explain what it was. And but I thought that was a good scene though with those two, the tension there. The whole character, Dane DeHaan character, I liked him. He's a great actor, Dane DeHaan, and he played that very well. I mean, he played the character as being like this, this douchebag, basically. I mean, he played it very well. This like rich, spoiled douchebag. I mean, he plays it very well. And I like those scenes with Peter Parker and Harry Osborn. I like those scenes. Um, but then later on, then when it goes sour very fast, I mean, it just got ridiculous. Um, the whole the stuff with Electro and Green Goblin. I mean, they were so underused in this movie. I mean, they were so underused. They were not developed right. I mean, they speeded through all these characters. The character of Rhino I thought was just ridiculous. That character, I mean, I have no idea why he was even in the movie. I mean, he didn't really add anything to the film. Maybe to set up maybe the next film, maybe. I mean, I just thought that character, especially at the end, when he's in the mech suit and the kid comes running out, and that just, I just thought that was stupid. It was very stupid. I mean, but the kid is like, he's shooting up everything, blowing up everything, and all of a sudden this kid runs out and Spider-Man's there, and he's just like having them have a conversation, instead of just blowing them away. What? That didn't make any sense to me. And and his whole mech suit where it raised up and his like head's exposed. I mean, anybody could just like shoot him right in the head. I thought that was kind of ridiculous. I did like the character of Electro though. When Max did become Electro, I liked the whole the CG effect on his body and his face. I thought that was great, and he's shooting the electricity and everything. But he was just so underused, so underused. at the end, where he just fighting a little bit and then he just boom, he just poofs into nothing. And I thought for sure he would come back, but no, that was it. That was it for him. I couldn't understand. I was like, that's it? He's dead? Okay. I wasn't expecting that. Um, then there was, the whole Green Goblin. When Dane DeHaan does become the Green Goblin, I mean, he knows to put the suit on. I know Norman Osborn gave him like this like holocron chip thing. I don't know that had information on there about his disease or whatever. But he knew how to put the suit on, and then he's speeding around on the glider, and he knows how to do everything, and it just that seemed ridiculous. It's like, how are you gonna know how to surf around on this glider, and just all of a sudden you're just like just so evil and just ruthless, and he's mad because Spider-Man, Peter Parker did not give him his blood because he wanted Peter Parker's blood or Spider-Man's blood. But then when he figures out it was Peter Parker, I mean he like goes off on this kill spree. It seems like, or wanted to go on the kill spree where he ends up killing Gwen Stacy. That just seemed like, that just seemed kind of ridiculous. It's just all of a sudden he's so angry, so mad. I mean, it didn't seem very believable. Um, but I mean, I thought he looked great, physically. I mean, they just didn't do anything with him. Just all of a sudden, I mean, he throws Gwen Stacy down. He flies around a little bit. They fight a little bit, and then that's it. Um, the same thing with Electro. I mean, when you first meet Electro, I mean, I thought that was a great scene though, where he's in Times Square and he's like, he doesn't know what's going on. He just wants people to leave him alone. I thought it was ridiculous though that there's people everywhere there. I mean, why don't they just run? I mean, they're hanging around like it's a show, or and they're just hanging around in Times Square. Um, but I mean, it seems like the negatives outweigh the positives for me for this movie. I'm trying to think of some more negatives. That's pretty much it for negatives that I can think of. I know I'll probably think of some more later, but yeah, yeah. Well, the character that was, I think he was like a Russian character. He was the one that was holding Electro and he was like torturing him or whatever. I mean, I thought that was kind of like a stereotype. It was just so ridiculous. That Russian guy, um, or maybe he was German. I don't know. I think he might have been German. Yeah, the guy that was torturing him. I just think he was just so ridiculous, over the top. Some of these characters were just so over the top, and just so ridiculous. So I mean, at moments it would go from being kind of serious to being really childish, and then it would go back to serious, and then it would just be just stupid, And it was all over the place. I mean, it's like they could not pinpoint what they wanted to do. Um, but I mean, go on. Now I'm going to try to go on to the positives. The positives that I liked. I liked the opening scene, not the very opening scene with uh, Richard Parker, which, I'll get into that in a minute. But the scene where Spider-Man is flying straight down and then he's gliding all over the place and flying, and he's using the webs and going everywhere. I mean, I thought that was great, a great scene. Um, I like that part. I like um, let's see. Okay, um I like Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man. I think he's great. I think he's really great as Spider-Man. I actually like him better than Tobey Maguire from the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans. So I really like Andrew Garfield. I mean, he does it very well. The way he looks and sounds and acts, I like that part. Um, I like I like the scene where Peter Parker is talking to Aunt May in his room, and she was like, "You're mine." She didn't want to tell him about his father. I thought that was a great scene. I love the scenes with Gwen Stacy and Peter Parker. Um, those two have great chemistry. It's probably because they really date in real life. But they have great chemistry in this movie, and I really like those scenes. Um, you could just feel like the tension too. I like the scenes though too where he's having like these like visions of her father as well. You know, where he made that promise that he would not stay with her, you know, to protect her. He would break up with her, and he doesn't. Um, I like those scenes. They're very creepy. Those scenes. Um, let's see. I mean, I like Electro's look overall. Overall, I like Electro and the Green Goblin. I like their look overall. Um, the scene at the end, you know, where you know, the Green Goblin lets her go and lets her fall, and like he's just struggling to do everything he can to save her and fight with the Green Goblin at the same time. I thought was just a lot of tension going on. I knew she was going to die anyway, but it just seemed like, oh man, maybe he can save her. And then when he's and that gear snaps the web, and she's falling, and it's just like slow mo, and it's like those final seconds of her being alive, and him trying everything he can do to save her, to just flying straight down, you know, and shooting out that web, and the web. I love how the web, when it's reaching out to her, it looks like a hand. You know, like the hand, like that was like his hand just trying to get to her, and like at the very end, you know, he gets her and just whacks her head like right on the floor, and that was it. It was just like, oh, you know, when that thud, you know, hits, and you're just like, oh man, that was horrible. And that scene was really good. I like that because it was just so horrible. Um, yeah, and then the emotion that comes out of him, you know, it's just heartbreaking. Um, then you know, yeah, I mean that's pretty much it for the positives that I can think of. Well, the scenes with Peter Parker and Dane DeHaan were really good as well. You know, where you know them together, those scenes are always were really good. Um, that's pretty much it that I can think of. Unfortunately, I mean, I really wanted to go in liking this movie, and I thought it was okay overall. I mean, just a lot of stupid stuff going on. It's just unfortunate. I mean, you know, and then you know, I guess apparently they're like, you know, they're going to unveil the Sinister Six, you know, and they showed the scene where, you know, Doc Ock and you know, all these suits and stuff for Doc Ock, and you know, all these other characters. You know, who knows? I mean, I think they kind of like rush through this movie, trying to maybe get to the other movies that they want to make. You know, it's just unfortunate. Um, the scenes with Richard Parker, you know, um, Peter Parker's parents at the beginning, I thought were okay. You know, really showing what happened um, to him, and that you know, everyone thinks that he was a bad guy, but he's not, and that he was actually the one that created the little spiders that bit Peter Parker in the first place. You know, I thought was you know, pretty cool backstory. You know, overall, I would probably give this movie a 7.5 out of 10. Um, you know, there was a lot of high hopes for this movie. I mean, I really thought it was going to be spectacular, but it just was not. It's unfortunate. Um, because you know they've made a ton of money though on this movie already. They've made a ton. I think it was like over, was it 90 million? I could be wrong. I don't have the actual the figures in front of me. Uh, but I believe they made 90 million opening weekend. But one thing that staggers, it boggles my mind, is that they have spent on marketing alone, just the marketing, they spent $180 million. $180 million on marketing alone. It boggles my mind. I mean, somebody said that there was like a poster banner thing, you know, on the side of a mail truck. I did not see that personally, but I heard that that's what they had on the side of a mail truck. So they spent a lot of marketing. I guess it's paying off because they've made quite a bit overseas as well. Um, even though this movie is not spectacular. It's not, but people are going out to see it. So uh, you can bet. I mean, even though this movie is like real close to Spider-Man 3 as being, you know, bad. It was close. Spider-Man 3, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 3, is still the worst of the Spider-Mans. But this is close to that. It's unfortunate, but they make a ton of money. They're making a ton of money, so I mean they're obviously going to make another one. You know, so you know, let's just hope that they can right the ship. Because I mean Spider-Man's a great character. He really is a great character. A lot of great villains too. A lot of great villains in the Spider-Man universe. Um, yeah, I think that's it, guys. I think I covered everything. Oh, the ending scene, the ending scene, the credit scene that they had, it was of X-Men. I know a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, they got X-Men." They got X-Men. He's going to be in the Spider-Man, but no. What I understand is that was just a favor or something that they did between, it was an agreement or something for Mark Webb, the director, and Fox, and there was like an agreement there. But there's not, you know, it's not, no, there ain't going to be no X-Men and that to come together. It would be awesome, but it's not. But yeah, I mean that was pretty much it. Yeah, overall 7.5 out of 10. It was okay. A lot of faults, a lot of faults. Some fun scenes, and but just I think there was a lot worse spots, just so ridiculous at times. It really hindered it, and then the characters just were not, they didn't do anything with them, just so rushed. But that's it for me, guys. Please comment below, guys. Tell me what you thought of the movie. Give me a thumbs up here. Right down in the comments below, guys. Appreciate it, guys. That's it for me. I'm Chris for Christopher's Entertainment Blog. See you later, guys.